What a disaster.
All right, let's get started.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast.
It's us.
We're
Movie
back.
The podcast.
We've got 3/5 quality beef.
Yeah. Sean is not here tonight because he had work stuff to do. Gogs had a appointment he didn't know about until an hour ago. Somebody buy him a goddamn calendar.
I think the kind of appointment it was a disappointment. Am I right?
Hey, that's why we bring the big guns in with that kind of wordplay. But anyway, speaking of disappointment, we watched fucking Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and yeah, I'm just gonna bury the lead. It's not very good. I'm gonna say though, I will die on this hill. It's better than Crystal Skull.
Oh yeah, I completely
it's better
agree.
Than Crystal Skull.
I think you could take Crystal Skull and this and put together a competent fourth Indiana Jones movie that would be kind of cool. They chose not to do either.
But I will say that I found the biggest problems with the movies are almost the same. And we'll get into that a little bit later.
Sure, yeah. We will.
Anyway, so we have, again, it's just Nate, Topo, and Alec with us tonight. And, so we'll get into Dial of Destiny momentarily. But what did y'all watch this past week? I'm going to turn the mic to Alec. Wow.
Nothing.
That was rare. That's a rare Alec.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope,
that's
just
all right.
nothing.
We'll get you next week. I watched one thing. I watched Martin Scorsese's After Hours, a movie I've heard. I've never seen it. I've heard about this. I've heard about it for years, and I loved it. I thought it was wonderful. It's like, and I wish Sean was here because it's a running joke how many times I can bring up Fellini.
The Arquette argument? Oh.
No, but Rosanna Arquette, especially in this movie, oh my lord. Now, don't get me wrong, Patricia is always the GOAT for me. Patricia Arquette, like Lost Highway era Patricia Arquette, True Romance Patricia Arquette, dear God. But Rosanna in this movie, very attractive. Also, I think it's funny because Rosanna Arquette's been in a ton of movies, but the only movie I ever remember her in is Pulp Fiction because it has the greatest line in the whole movie where, what's his name, Mask, Eric,
yeah.
Is with John Travolta. And he's like, you should talk to, what's her name? She's single. And John Travolta's like, is that the one with all the shit in her face? And he's like, no, that's, what's her name? That's my wife. That shit's so fun. That's such a great line. But anyway, After Hours is fucking wonderful. But no, this is the reason I brought up Sean is because it's a running gag how many times I can bring up fucking, Fellini or Louis Buñuel. Or Boone, however you say his fucking name. I don't know. It's French. Help me out, Nate.
Oh. Yeah, I
can't even say his
I'll
name.
pass on that one.
I think it's Bunel, but anyway.
It's probably Bunel. Or Bunel, yeah.
But anyway, this felt like Scorsese's, like, discreet charm of the bourgeoisie. Like, it felt like a fucking Buñuel movie, but, like, taking place in New York. And the one thing that I love Louis Buñuel movies. But the thing is, like, a lot of his, like, discreet charm of the bourgeois is a good example. It's technically a comedy, but there's a lot of, like, cultural stuff in that movie. And the comedy, I like the movie, but a lot of the comedy beats don't land for me. Because you know what I mean? Like, I don't really, like, a lot of the cultural signifiers, just the jokes don't really work.
A lot of the comedy beats in that movie are, like, the way it's staged, where it's like, hey, they're gonna eat, but they're on a stage and people are watching them in a theater, and that's funny on itself, right? Or and it just, I don't know, it doesn't resonate. But After Hours is like legitimately funny, like it's very funny, and it's one of the weird. It's a nice intersection of being like surreal and very like artsy fartsy, but still being like approachable and funny and like. I liked it because, in a weird way, it also reminded me of, Alec, you'll probably remember this. What was that David Cross show where he kept making, like, horrible decisions and things just kept spiraling out of control?
The increasingly
That's
poor
it.
decisions of
It
Con
reminded
Margaret.
me of that because, so, just for those of you that don't know, After Hours is about this guy who's, like, a mundane, like, office worker, and he's bored with his life, and he's literally, like, the first scene of the movie, he's training Balki Batakovich, whatever, Bronson Pinchot.
Mm-hmm.
He's training Bronson Pinchot to do like menial like data entry stuff on like hilariously old computers, which is always funny to look at. But he's just bored out of his mind, and he's just like his eyes are like just wandering all over, and he's blocking out what he's saying. But he's super bored. He meets Rosanna Arquette at a coffee bar because he's reading, I forget what book he's reading, but it doesn't matter. And she starts talking to him, and she's hot, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna like get laid," and he calls her up on the phone. And the whole movie the propulsionary action is he's just trying to get laid, and it's something.
Yeah, he leaves his house at like 11:30 at night to go across town in Manhattan to get laid.
He leaves his house at 11:30 at night with $20 in his wallet. That's it. That's all the money he has. And anyway, the whole movie is just weird. Like, the situation goes from being normal to weird to insane to even more insane, and like he gets into like more and more surreal, odd predicaments. And it's funny. It's short, which is also a plus, because the thing I can't stand about Scorsese now is all his movies are so fucking long.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon was a fine movie if you cut like an hour and 15 minutes out of it. It's so fucking long. I hated The Irishman. I'll make more Irishman comparisons when we talk about Indiana Jones, because that had the same problem in that movie where you had 80-year-old fucking Robert De Niro, but like they CGI'd his face and you still have his old man voice and he's still moving around like an old man because they didn't body double him in that movie. But it's great, and it's not something I would expect from Scorsese, and I loved it. Also, I'm not sure who his cinematographer was, but the cinematography in this movie is beautiful. It's got that great, like, New York as a character kind of feel to it, because the way it's shot, like, New York is kind of like this weird, like, surrealist hellscape, and I don't know, man, I really love this movie. I'm shocked it took me so long to watch it, because I'm going to go so far as to say one of my favorite Scorsese movies. Like, I love this movie. I can definitely see myself revisiting this movie a lot. I'm definitely going to recommend it to people because, again, it's something I had heard of, but I'd never watched it. I've heard people talk about it a bunch, but I loved it. I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, it makes you wish that Scorsese made more movies like this, because he clearly can understand how to do, like, because this is supposed to be like a yuppie nightmare cycle is what the genre, the subgenre is supposed to be. And he clearly gets how to communicate that way and have fun with it, because like the ending when he's all wrapped up and he's mummified and fully encased in plaster and he's just getting like dropped off and stolen and all these other things where it's just like I don't know, it's really able to do New York tongue-in-cheek in the 80s.
I honestly thought, I mean, I love the ending of the movie, but I honestly thought for a minute that movie was going to be super dark and he was just going to die in that plaster casting. I thought it was going to be like...
Well, it is super dark because he returns to his office and he's relieved to just be an office monkey again.
Yeah. Talking about a capitalist hellscape, but it's really fucking good. I loved it. It was a 10 for me. I fucking loved the movie. I thought it was fantastic, and I agree. Like, when you see Scorsese have this kind of range, it's like, I wish you'd have made kind of more weird shit. Like, it's funny because I've heard him in an interview with, I think it was Charlie Rose, and this is like back in like the early 80s, maybe late 70s. And he was talking about how much he loved David Lynch and how he thought like David Lynch was like the most exciting filmmaker out there. And then after watching this, I'm like, oh, I can understand why he'd appreciate like Lynch's weirdness. But it was great. I fucking loved it. I can't recommend it enough. After Hours. I don't know where you can stream it. If you can't find it, email me. I'll give you an invite to my Plex.
I bought it, I think, for $5 on Fandango now or whatever, because I was just like, I'm going to watch this movie a bunch of times. I'll do it. I
could be wrong, and it might be out of print. I'm pretty sure there's a Criterion of this on Blu-ray, but I could be wrong. Nice. What did you watch, Nate?
I watched 4 things. I'll go pretty quick with them. I watched 2011's Person on Cocaine thinking that their Limitless movie, Limitless, which was a total waste of my time. It's fine. Like, Bradley Cooper's okay, but it is really just like, if you're coked up and the movie is from the perspective of a person coked up, you're like, I can do anything. Yeah. Why is time dilating? How am I getting into trouble? I don't understand. It's like, stop doing cocaine. The end. Yeah. That's the movie. It's nauseating to watch. Like, whoever directed it, I forgot to write their name down, but like, there's so many like rapid sort of rail and zoom things and in camera effects that are supposed to make you feel like you're moving forward quickly. But it just made me want to throw up.
Is De Niro in that too? Am I
De Niro is in
that. Yeah.
De Niro is like just a investment banker heavy in that movie.
You're right.
Did, I know.
He did do that. That's right.
Isn't that wild?
Like, that's how crazy is that? It was directed by Neil Berger.
That name sounds very familiar to Neil Berger.
I was looking through his filmography.
His middle name is Cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched The Illusionist.
The Illusionist was the disappointing sister film of The Prestige. I remember it came out right around the same time.
And Limitless is sort of the disappointing brother film to whatever that Scarlett Johansson movie was with like
Crank.
Yeah, Lucy, where it's the same premise of what if you unlocked all of your brain? It's like literally doesn't work.
Yeah.
He directed
the what was that?
The YA thing.
The YA thing that they never finished, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they made like 4/5 of the books.
Yeah, they didn't even they did not, I think, do the last. Like, oh, fuck it. Nobody's watching these things.
I remember that lead actress, her name was like Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley was dating Aaron Rodgers.
And I was
maybe that's why it got canceled, because Aaron Rodgers made her crazy, or vice versa.
Yeah, right.
I also watched Mulholland Drive, which is like, it's a 10. It's a fucking perfect movie. This was my first watch in like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. And I just like, I watched it and then I spent something I don't do that often, but I spent like 3 hours on forums just reading people's theories about stuff. And then I stumbled upon like David Lynch's sort of fake list of 9 clues that you're supposed to watch.
Yeah.
And I was reading theories on that. It's just so good. It's just Lynch
claims that he claims that movie is a cipher, but I don't really agree with it. I mean, he can say whatever he wants. He made the movie, but he claims that movie is a cipher, so you can watch it. You can watch it out of sequence. You can watch it at any point in the film, and that's how it's supposed to be taken in. But I don't know. To me, the movie is very sequential. I don't really see what he's talking about, but I love that movie. I could see
you, like, if you had it on a loop, you could watch it from any point to the end point, and it would be interesting, right? If you pulled the credits.
The movie is cyclical, so I definitely understand that. But also, you want to talk about an ending scene. That end scene in Club Silencio is such a powerful thing. Also, the Rebecca, I can't remember her name, the singer in that, she just passed away recently.
Just a couple years ago.
Amazing voice, amazingly powerful scene. And Naomi Watts in that movie is so fucking good.
Oh, I mean, Justin Theroux's really good in it too, and it just made me think, like, why isn't Justin Theroux good in a lot of more things? Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like this is the best he's been. But I had somebody tell me to watch The Leftovers. And I was just about to
say, he was really good in that. That, like a lot of other HBO shows, the ending of that kind of trailed off into nothing, but like, the first season is excellent. He's good in it too. So, he writes a lot also. Like, he
punched up the Iron Man 2 script, and like...
He co-wrote Tropic Thunder, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Somebody else,
Yeah. But yeah, Mulholland Drive's a banger. It's 10 out of 10. I also watched Errol Morris's Tabloid from 2010, which that's a lot of fun. I don't think it's like it's not the tightest Errol Morris film, because it sort of like just keeps running the same loop. But watching this McKinney character like talk about her weird life and kidnapping to sexually liberate a Mormon man who she didn't think she kidnapped. It was fun. It's a really interesting watch.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I'd love to rewatch that.
Yeah. And the last thing is because it's not available anywhere streaming legally, I ordered the entire series of Tales from the Crypt on DVD, because that's the only way it's available.
Yeah.
So I watched season 1 of Tales from the Crypt just last night, because it's just 6 episodes on one disc.
Oh, that's sick.
That has the Leah Thompson episode where she sells her beauty to the guy at the pawn shop. It also has M. Emmett Walsh retiring and then becoming a taxidermist who kills all of his wife's animal friends. It's great, and I love being able to watch it again. I was impressed. I'm really impressed with the quality of this. Like, it's a 2017 pressing, I guess, of the box set, which hopefully will avoid the DVD rot that they were having with some of the discs from like 2008. But it's just great. It looks really good. Like, I don't know.
Do you remember, because it was originally on HBO, and I remember they used to have, there used to be like nudity and stuff in it, but then they did a re-release in syndication where they used to show it like late at night on like normal channels.
That's how I would have watched it, yeah. Yeah, I used to watch it on like our Fox channel, I think. It was late,
But they chopped those episodes up to death. And I think you're right. Those are like insanely hard to find. I'm shocked like a Shout Factory or one of those hasn't done like a pristine re-release of that, because I would buy it in a heartbeat, because I loved that show when I was younger. I used to tape it off of HBO, so I could have it. So somewhere in some landfill, there's like 13 VHS tapes with all the Tales of the Crypt stuff on it. But
it's amazing. I can't wait to watch more of it. Like, I got 6 more seasons of this to check out, and there's tons of these I haven't ever seen. Right?
Yeah,
like, I've seen a lot of them, but I've only seen the ones that were in syndication on regular old terrestrial TV back in the day, so.
Yeah. That show was fucking amazing. Way ahead of its time. I don't know, it's one of those things where it's like before like the quote unquote like prestige TV, but they used to always get like named actors in those things. It wasn't like TV people or whatever. I love that show to death.
Yeah, like Joe Pantoliano's in one of the episodes in season 1 as a guy that like has 9 lives because they transplanted a cat gland into his brain. Like, it's just, it's amazing to me that they could pull who they could pull, and it's all done like earnestly. I mean, it's tongue in cheek, but like everybody's trying, which is awesome
also,
too.
The Crypt Keeper rocks. Like, the Crypt Keeper is one of the best characters ever. I love it. And I'm also a huge fan of like old like EC comics and like all that shit. So like it's very they stayed very true to that formula. Like, a lot of those stories are ripped right out of like old EC comics. So it's
I was looking at the wiki, and it's nice. Like, they go through episode by episode, and then they list the reference comic, whether it was actually a Tales from the Crypt or it was another one of the kind of EC anthology things. So I just think we need more anthology series in general. Like, I miss them, and they need to be this way, where they're not trying to be as self-serious as Black Mirror has become, but be like fun.
I only watched like one episode. I watched the Cosmos Panthamos episode, but they did that thing on Netflix where it was Guillermo del Toro's like Cabinet of Curiosity.
That was pretty good. I liked a lot of that. There's like, because there's one really cool, it's the Lovecraft, I can't remember the guy's, Pickman's Model, I guess is the story. That episode is really well done. Yeah. And there's also one with like, the guy that played RoboCop.
Oh my God. I can't think.
Peter Weller.
Thank you.
Yeah, Peter Weller's like this weird old collector guy that lives in like a Blade Runner mansion, and he has like an asteroid, and he invites a bunch of dipshits over to look at it, and then they crack the asteroid open, and it goes full like color out of space. That was cool too. It's got I think that one's good, but I want more. I want almost all of my TV to be anthology, because I almost don't care about trying to follow a story that's like 6 episodes long.
I agree. I mean, like, I feel like every time something interesting comes out on Netflix, it's like a whole TV show, and it's like, melt it down. Give me.
Well, a lot of times it's like it's 6 episodes and it really could have been 3, but they stretch it out, and then you're just like, oh well, we spent a lot of time with that character who doesn't have any significance, which is a good segue into the movie.
Yeah, real quick. Speaking of anthologies, that was actually disappointing. Because I don't know if you saw any of the Amazon, they did a Philip K. Dick anthology show, and it was really bad. Oh. I was so disappointed because I was like looking forward to it, and it sucked. It was so bad. I forget what it was even called, but it was on Amazon, and it was terrible. But that was it.
Android
something like that. It was not good. And I was like, as a big dickhead, I was looking forward to it, and it was very disappointing.
At least it's kind of appropriate that a Philip K. Dick thing would be disappointingly adapted because that's kind of how it all was, other than a few things.
Yeah,
so
fair enough. And his best adaptation isn't even close to the book. Blade Runner is great, but it's nothing like the book at all.
And Scanner Darkly is not too close to the story either, but it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Scanner Darkly. I always forget about that one, but I don't like Next.
Oh God,
that Nick Cage movie. Yeah. I mean, Total Recall is another one. That's nothing really like the book at all. Like all the good adaptations aren't very good adaptations. But all right, speaking of disappointment, to turn the page back a little bit, let's talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
All right.
Oh boy, go ahead.
Here's what happens in this movie. It's 1969. Nice. Indiana Jones is old, but flashback is how we start the movie instead. It's 1942 something. I don't feel like they even put the timestamps on the screen, which is annoying.
At one point, when he's getting interrogated, he's like, Hitler's in the bunker, so you got to figure this is like right at the end of the war.
Yeah. So the Nazis have lost. Indy and his friend are trying to get the spear that stabbed Christ in the side from a castle. Where the Nazis have hoarded a bunch of art they've stolen.
The Lance of Longinus, which I only know because of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. And throughout this section, this is where Harrison Ford is de-aged on the body of a body double. It's like 50% effective, I think. I'm just going to say that. I think that when he's expressing a lot, it doesn't work. When he's kind of straight-faced, it almost works.
So
that could have been the quality of the view.
So Analog, when you texted us the picture of the body double they used, the guy looks just like Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
just
really
use his face. Like, we get it. Like, I think all of us as an audience would be like, oh, okay, he's younger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why do you need the cartoon face? Like, that face. Oh,
we all bought that River Phoenix was the young version of him. Like,
exactly.
We didn't have to use Harrison Ford's baby pictures.
This opening sequence is so frustrating because I thought that the sequence was good. I liked the action. I thought that the set pieces was cool when he's hanging from the noose and then the bunker buster bomb falls in. I thought that shit was great. The train fight is cool. But, like, every time they show his face, I'm just taken out of the scene. Like, I can't deal with that face. And again, like I said a couple minutes ago, Harrison Ford does the voice. So it's like, it sounds like old man Harrison Ford with this, like, cartoon face. He doesn't sound like he does. It's just kind of like, in Rogue One, when Darth Vader shows back up and it's old James Earl Jones voice, it's like, dude, just get a sound alike. Like, you got James Earl Jones, but he's 100 years old.
Well, you can tell they kind of smoothed or pitched him up slightly to make him sound younger, and it almost works, but yes, it doesn't beat suspension of disbelief.
Mm-mm.
So they're in there, they're trying to get this thing out of the castle. Indy gets caught. The Nazis are going to hang him. Meanwhile, Mads Mikkelsen is a Nazi who's trying to basically convince his boss that, like, don't worry about this spear thing, it's trash. Instead, we need this other artifact, which happens to be Archimedes' dial, one part of it. He wants to do that. Then we just have the first of the many chase sequences in this movie is Indy has to run out of being hanged and barely escaping that to driving a motorcycle. Maybe the coolest action point in the whole thing is when he crashes the sidecar into the tree and the Nazi just gets, like, totally destroyed. And then we got a chase, and then we're on a train and we're chasing on a train, and that pretty much resolves that section. They managed to get away with the dial.
So one
and
thing
Mads
about
Mikkelsen
this,
gets hit in the face.
Yeah, one thing about this chase that they never resolved is Mads Mikkelsen gets, like, hereditaried.
Yeah, he gets hit with, like, the mail delivery bag, like, pole that's next to the train station.
How did he survive that? Like, I thought they were going to...
How does he not have a scar later? Like, his face is totally normal later.
I thought they were going to give me some sort of, like, when you see him, spoiler alerts for later on, when you see him in the 60s or whatever, he's fine. I thought they were going to, like, say he traveled back in time and stopped himself from getting hit. But, like, they never address it. And it's like, dude, he got, like, pancaked. How the hell is he okay? It's very... That bothered the shit out of me. I'm like... And again, you're like you said, no scar, no nothing. No damage, no battle damage. I don't know.
He should have had, like, a really cool half face plate. That would have been an interesting character design. And he could have been, cool.
Like, the one guy from James Bond.
Yeah.
That shitty Javier
God, I forgot about
big fat thing from, whichever
Skyfall?
one that was. That movie sucked.
That was Skyfall.
Yeah,
That's Skyfall?
Yeah, that one's... that was sucked.
What trash.
Yeah.
So then we go back to 1969. So now it's 1969. It's the day that the moon landing parade is happening, and Indiana Jones is watching TV in his underwear in an apartment in New York, and he hears Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles playing a little too loud next door. So he goes to be Clint Eastwood and pound on the door of some 60s teens or 20-somethings who happen to be having like a drug orgy at 8 a.m., it looked like. They're just all hanging out.
On a weekday.
8 a.m. on a weekday. Where there's also a space parade.
But then
haven't you heard? It's Moon Day.
So we also get from this that he and Marion have divorced because he's got divorce papers, and he puts a magnet over the picture of a young Karen Allen on the fridge to hide it. And then Indiana Jones gets dressed and he goes to work, where he's a professor at, I guess, NYU or Columbia. They didn't really say what school, did they, Alec? Okay.
Not that I recall.
So yeah, so he's
generic.
Yeah,
Empire State University.
Yeah, so he's just there. He's teaching about, hey, wild continuum thread, but he's teaching specifically about Archimedes and the Battle of Syracuse in the class.
Can movies stop doing this? This shit is so annoying. Like, I know that the fucking Archimedes thing is the fucking plot of the movie, but like, does he have to be teaching about it the same day? It's like,
if he doesn't teach about it, then the payoff when they get to the actual Battle of Syracuse in the distant past doesn't work. See, this is about story circularity.
In the movie Weapon.
I mean, but doesn't that happen in every Indiana Jones movie?
It does.
A little.
Like, I remember in Last Crusade, he's talking about at the beginning, because the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, he teaches after after he gets the idol and what's his face is killed.
I don't know. I vaguely remember in Last Crusade him talking about like the Holy Grail, and then he goes on a trip to find the Holy Grail.
I mean, it's like in the movie Weapons, which I hated, where like the movie is about a parasite, and like the classroom is talking about parasites. The couple that gets murdered is watching a documentary about parasites. It's like, we get it. Like, god damn it. Like, Jesus Christ.
So yeah, so
then he runs into
talking about that. None of his students know anything about his class or seem to care.
Or care at all.
And,
these are college kids.
And I think an important flaw in the writing here is
they're all playing on their phones.
Professor Henry Jones Jr. is saying, "Hey guys, this is all going to be on the final." Then Phoebe Waller-Bridge starts answering questions. So we're like, "Ooh, somebody's interesting." Whatever. Then we find out almost immediately after that he is retiring that day. It seems.
Right,
so why the fuck would he be talking about the final? Like, he's not coming back. I don't understand. It's a very strange.
Day.
Yeah, it's like, it's my last day. Like, he should be doing whatever the film version of the thing is and kicking back and enjoying it, not.
I mean, I never went to college, but is it normal for your professor to retire the day before finals? Like, it doesn't seem like it would.
Yeah, no, it's very strange. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, so Phoebe Waller-Bridge shows up. She kind of stalks him, follows him around. He goes to a bar to drink alone. His retirement party includes being given a gold clock. It's like a wind-up under glass clock thing that he immediately hands to a stranger on the street because he's misanthropic.
Another clever time thing in this movie. It's like, again, you get it? Here you go, time.
He's giving it away. He doesn't have much left.
Time, yeah.
So he goes to the bar. He's drinking by himself. Phoebe Waller-Bridge shows up. She's like, "Hey, do you remember me? I was just in your class. Oh, wait, do you remember me? Because I'm actually your best friend from the Cold Open's daughter, and you forgot about that." Then we jump to another little flashback that's like from, I don't know, the 40s, mid-40s or something, and he's just trying to convince her dad that Archimedes' dial doesn't work and not to worry about it. And then we just kind of move on with the thing. Like, we find out that, like, it turns out Mads Mikkelsen's alive. He has a bunch of hench people who appear to be working with the CIA because he somehow was part of the moon mission.
Yeah, and one of his hench people is that guy that we like from Logan, whose name I can never remember, and he was in Predator.
Yeah, his name is Boyd.
I like that dude. I was excited when I saw him, and then I was immediately...
Boyd.
That guy's great.
Boyd Holbrook.
He sucks in this movie.
Well, he doesn't get to do anything in this movie.
Yeah, he doesn't do a thing.
He just shoots wildly. He's sort of supposed to be the wild card, but he's actually
nobody
here is well defined because this movie keeps moving.
Apparently, he's a Nazi, but like he's not a Nazi because in the beginning of the movie he's like trying to learn German, and I was like, I thought that was going to lead to something, but it didn't. I was like. Because, I don't know. Again, like you just said, everyone's so ill-defined in this movie. Like, the only character I know is Indiana Jones.
Well, because the movie has to keep chasing one MacGuffin after another, which is like putting the dial together. Well, the Spear of Longinus is the first MacGuffin. It's not actually a thing.
No.
And then we're chasing these parts of the dial. And we're supposed to, I think the intention here is this is supposed to be about how Indiana Jones feels like he doesn't belong in the time he's in. He no longer feels useful. And so he is supposed to be reckoning with age and the fact that like his adventuring is over and his time has passed.
Well, that is the point of the movie by the ending, but I don't think the film does a good job illustrating that.
I think that's the problem with the ending
movie.
Is the ending, like if the film dealt with it and if the ending made sense, but the ending doesn't make sense, but we'll get there. So we have a chase sequence. Indiana Jones has to ride a horse through the moon landing parade to get away from these Nazis.
Real quick, though, before this shit bothered the hell out of me again, there's a lot of little things in this movie that just are so fucking stupid. So the CIA van, everybody knows there's this goddamn moon parade's happening, so they load up Indiana Jones and Fleabag in this fucking van, right? So then they're trying to actively drive through the parade, which obviously you're not going to be able to do. But then, this is the part that bothered me the most, because that's stupid in and of itself. They're trying to back up, and some taxi, rams him. It's like, where did that guy think he was going? Like, why is he there? It was so stupid. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's, like, a lot of the action in this movie doesn't make sense. And they're not really concerned with that, because they're just trying to play the hits. And so
that's all it is.
It's just it's like if you wrote a song where you just put all of the hooks together, but you didn't bother with verses and bridges. You're just no, we'll just put all the hooks together, and people will like that because they love hooks.
I felt like James Mangold played like an Uncharted game, and it was like, oh well, this works.
Yeah,
but I will say
very much
the Uncharted games are written better than this.
This is. I mean, I don't know. So much of this is fine too, which is the thing that's annoying about it, but. So there's a chase. They got to get away from the Nazis and the CIA, who are apparently kind of working together at this point. It feels that way. You're not sure because there's a black lady CIA agent who's...
But she's kind of with them, but kind of not. Yeah.
And she's also totally not defined. So when she gets got, you kind of don't know how you're supposed to feel because you're like, well, she was in the movie for 20 minutes, but I don't know why I care.
Also, there is one good joke in this chase scene because he rides the horse into a subway and then drops the horse off and takes the train. And he goes, he hands the guy the reins of the horse. And he looks at the guy and goes, trains are faster. I don't know. That line did get me. I was like, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Harrison Ford's still charismatic enough in this movie that, like, he carries the stuff that works.
I will say, he is trying a lot more than he did in Crystal Skull in this. He doesn't seem completely asleep most of this movie. I mean, it's not to his benefit, but he seems more actively trying in this movie than he did in the previous film.
Yeah. He's and from the lore, from my understanding, he wanted to make this really badly, and he has taken the L for the movie not making its money back because he's like, my bad, I wanted to make one more. So they get through the chase. Indy kind of gets away. They start trying to. Do they go straight to Tangier after that?
Yeah. Well, because Fleabag says that she knows where the other part of the fucking clock is or whatever somehow.
Yes.
She's like, well, it fell off of the train, so it's got to be here. Which again, like the diving scene, like how did you like the ocean's a big place. A lot of things happen and.
Well, that's
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they go to Tangier first.
She's talking about where the clock is because she's just talking about the bridge from the beginning. The bridge in Austria or wherever. And then they go to, Morocco, where she's selling the thing in the bazaar. And then there's a big chase. Then they go to Greece, and that's where they go diving.
It's like globe-hopping adventure in this.
Yeah, but they get chased from point to point to point. Because, we get to Tangier, we meet the kid, who, I can't remember his name now. What's his name?
I don't...
Teddy?
Teddy, I think it's Buzzy. This fucking kid. Teddy. God, get this kid out of this fucking movie.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like, the kid is an actor, probably fine, but the thing is, like, we've just added another character we're supposed to care about to a movie that's going to be 2 hours and 45 minutes long, and I don't want to care about him. And what they do is they use him just as another thing to go chase, right? Like, and to fly a plane by himself through space-time. But
I felt big episode 1 vibes with this child. Like, can you fly this plane? He's like, probably. And then also in that scene, I know I'm jumping ahead. Do pilots usually just sleep in their fucking planes? Cause
I think if they're drunk. I assume that guy just like drank a shitload and fell asleep in his plane. Like he doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, the 60s were a different time for aviation safety.
But yeah, so there's a tuk-tuk chase in Tangier, so they got to drive around one of those 3-wheeled motor cart things.
Indy at one point's like, I know Tangier. It's like, bitch, you haven't been here in 40 years. Like, you don't know shit. Like,
but then he's immediately proven to know it because they're right where he thinks they'll be. So they don't manage to catch up, but they figure out like, okay, well, we'll go get the other piece. So they go to Greece and they meet Antonio Banderas, which is Indy's friend who's a diver. And we introduce him and his crew just for the 5 minutes that they're still alive so that they can go dive.
Poor Antonio Banderas is wasted in this movie.
Yeah. And that whole sequence, I mean, I think the actual tablet they pull up and the way that he uses the alcohol and the fire to melt it to get to the gold plate that's like the guide, like that's cool. That's very Indiana Jones. But the fact that they go diving and it's like, there's eels down there, and the kid's like eels look like snakes, and he's like, don't say that. And then the sequence with the eels is boring. Just as boring as later when there's a bunch of bugs on them in ear.
Like, eels are not threatening. Like, I'm sorry, like eels and sharks, they're not the same thing. Like, I don't know, a bunch of eels are coming after me. Like, I don't know. It doesn't strike terror in me. I'm sure if I was in the ocean surrounded by them, I'd feel differently, but also, like, I know the movie is riddled with, like, weird CGI, but the eels to me look like a cartoon. Like, it looked very, and the way they, like, react is, like, very cartoonish. I just, again, taken out completely.
It just, the eels feel like hey, the kids are getting bored, so we need to throw something flashy to happen. And it's like, no, that's not, Indiana Jones isn't supposed to be flashy stuff. It's supposed to be, like, watching him slowly sort stuff out, and the people who rush around die because things are trapped that way. So they get the other path, but Antonio Banderas gets killed, and they steal the Nazis' boat with this tablet. They pour alcohol on the tablet. It turns out it's hard wax, and they melt the wax off, and it's got a wheel, it's got a gold ring in it that's supposed to lead them, I guess, to the other half of the dial. And they decide, I still can't quite figure this out, like, everybody here should be smart enough to know, like, don't go directly in the direction of the place you're going while in sight of the Nazis. Like, like you should go due north or northeast for a while and then cut back because he can just look and see that you're not going toward Greece. You're going back toward Italy. So they go back to Sicily, to Syracuse, and they find this tunnel. It's something of the ear, or it's the Dionysian ear or something.
Something like that, yeah.
So we have a fun sequence where they're singing Beethoven, trying to get the ear to echo properly, and it's clear that Phoebe Waller-Bridge kind of has key and Harrison Ford does not. But they find it, and they find Archimedes' actual tomb, and Archimedes is wearing like a Rolex and they also notice that the like Phoenix design on the outside of the coffin is from further in the future than when he would have been from. which is something that never gets answered. Like, that doesn't get answered. The watch thing does, because we find out later where he gets it.
Yeah, it does. It's the Nazi plane.
Oh, okay.
You're right.
The twin propeller plane.
Gotcha.
The Phoenix.
Okay, well that works a little better for me then.
Yeah.
I buy that. So they find him, they find the other half of the dial, and then they're trying to get out of there. But the Nazis have previously kidnapped the kid, because that happened earlier and I forgot to mention. But the kid gets kidnapped while he's buying gelato, and Indy decides not to go after him. They're like, look, we should just go do this first, because this kid clearly doesn't need to be in the movie.
I was with him. I was like, yeah, go ahead, just leave him. And then later on, the kid, I mean, I know the guy was a Nazi, but this kid murders a guy in a way that's like way more like disturbing than like in most family movies.
Handcuffs him to the grate underwater.
Drown. Like, it's like, oh my God.
That was brutal. So they have
it wasn't meant to be funny, but I was laughing I was like, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck? I thought this was a family movie.
Well, and the kid's got like incredible underwater swimming, like spatial orientation, because he's able to like sneak through this damaged grate and take the handcuffs off and clip them on all before the guy can do anything.
And the thing is, I know that like the original Indiana Joneses were pretty violent, but like that was a different time. And like aside from 2, like none of them were really marketed to kids. You know what I mean? I know we all watched it as kids, but it was more like an adult movie. So this movie they obviously were trying to get, the whole family tag. That kid is just reeking of that. And it was just so funny to have that scene. It was so out of place. I was like, I can't believe they left this in. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. So the Nazis catch up. Indy sends Phoebe Waller-Bridge away to go get the kid. Indy's gonna hold them down with a gun, but he gets shot, and the Nazis capture him. And so now Mads Mikkelsen has both halves of the dial. He puts it together. It turns out, hey, the dial works. You click these things together, it starts cranking.
Get ready, folks. Oh,
and Mads Mikkelsen reveals he's kind of been revealing it the whole movie, but he really reveals his plan that he wants to go back to 1939 when Hitler lost the war, because he believes it wasn't the Nazis who lost, and it wasn't America or the Allies who won, but it was all Hitler's fault. So let's just go back and do it right.
It was bad planning. And as someone that's read way too many books about World War II, that is just not correct. But anyway.
Yeah, there are a lot of factors involved here.
I mean, if anything, if he wants to go back in time and do something, like kill fucking Stalin, because if there was no Russians, the Nazis would have a lot easier time. But
yeah, like what? You're just gonna get Germany nuked at the rate you're going.
Right, exactly. That'd have been a much funnier end of the movie if he's like, I got my plan, and it's
yeah,
like what? And like taking out Hitler, and then everybody's just sheet of glass.
I mean, the end of this movie would be infinitely better if it ended in the 1930s. If it would have just paid off what it was going for.
Honestly, that's what I thought they were doing, and I'm still, like, let me just say that if that is the way it went, I still wouldn't have liked it, but it's way better than where they went.
Yeah, like, I mean, it would have at least been thematically like, okay, Indiana Jones is remembering his like, youth.
Also, it kind of like, goes back to the beginning, so it kind of, again, like, it's more of like a callback to kind of the earlier adventures, and again, like him kind of recapturing his youth in some way, and then, again, we'll get to it here in a second, but what they go with, my God.
It's interesting. It's a swing. It's a swing.
It's a swing, all right.
So they're flying in the German bomber, and the kid has stolen a guy's like single engine Cessna thing, and they're flying straight into the sky, because what Archimedes dial does is it tells you the location of a time convergence portal that is almost directly straight up, where most airplanes stall, and these do too. So they fly all the way up until they get into this weird thing, and then they're sort of pulled through it, though the effects don't necessarily show you that they're being pulled through so much as that they hit the peak and they have to fall.
At this point, Indiana Jones starts laughing because he says that Mads Mikkelsen didn't account for like the right things, so they're going to shoot in the wrong time.
Which is another thing that's interesting. Like, oh hey, Archimedes couldn't have predicted all of this continental drift, so we should end up somewhere entirely different. That would have been interesting too.
Right, exactly.
But instead, what happens is they end up at the Battle of Syracuse in the BCs, where Archimedes is still alive, and Archimedes has badass ballistas firing things at Roman warships that are coming in, and they and the sequence isn't terrible. Like I think it's on its own, it's interesting and kind of cool.
In another movie, it would have been fine. In this movie, it just I don't know. None of this works for me. Also, like, they have machine guns. They would have just annihilated everything in front of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, they don't have enough people on the plane to run the machine guns, I think is what's happening, is they're like, I don't know.
Also, like, I don't know enough about planes and ancient ballistics, but, like, couldn't they just fly higher than the shit that they were getting thrown at them? Like, I don't think, you know what I mean? Like,
they should have been able to.
Right.
That should have been an immediate correction that they made. Was like, we need to gain some altitude. This is
pull up.
Pull up.
Instead, they fly 50 feet over top of an ongoing sea battle.
Hey, these things are firing huge metal arrows and shit. Hey, boss, you think we should go higher?
I also love that Indy at one point says they think it's a dragon. And it's like, how do you know what a person down on the ground that we just saw in subtitles thought it was? Because no one from the battle is on the plane with you. But yeah, so they're at this ancient battle. The Nazi plane gets taken down. Indy and Phoebe Waller-Bridge are able to bail out with parachutes. They get away with the dial, and the Nazis just crash and die. And Archimedes goes up to the crash site and finds Mads Mikkelsen's body and takes his Rolex off of his wrist. So that's how he got the watch. And then, as Alex said, they got the coffin stuff from the Nazi plane. And then Indy's basically like, I want to stay here forever. I don't want to go back. I just want to hang out with Archimedes until I die, even though I'm currently 80 and have a probably fatal bullet wound in my upper body.
Also, doesn't speak Italian, or at least ancient Italian or whatever. But somehow, does it?
He's doing it, but like,
you probably had the subtitles.
I did,
also, just talking all subtitles, but
everyone
he
sounds
was talking
Italian to me. That's a weird thing I have. So.
That's a slight Nazi plane.
It's where the blurring effect looked like I was like on TV. Like it was like blurring out what I was doing. Anyway.
But it's basically he has this moment where he's like, I don't belong anywhere else. I want to just be here now. And it's like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge goes way overboard and like, no, you have so much more work to do. You can't stay here. You have to come back. And
you're only 95 years old with a dead.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that Mutt died.
Mutt died in Vietnam.
They killed Mutt, which I immediately thought of the Krusty the Clown thing when Poochie died. It's like, Mutt's dead. Everybody cheers. Like, they killed off Mutt.
But yeah, so we're supposed to get this massive emotional resonance out of the idea that like, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is kind of talking to Indiana Jones, but also talking to Harrison Ford, and it's this like, no, you've got so much more you can contribute. You got to come back, da-da-da. But it makes literally no sense why a rational person, regardless of how like depressed you are about having teenagers listening to the Beatles, that you would be like, where I belong is so far back in history that it precedes most of the other stuff that I've actually looked at. But I guess I'll just be there because it'll be kind of fun, and then I don't know.
Well, and probably die from the gunshot wound that he had.
Yeah, he's going to die in like 3 days or something. He's going to get gangrene because they can't treat that shit, and that's going to be it.
Right.
So then she punches him in the face because he doesn't want to come back, and we just jump cut to they're already back.
Yeah,
we don't have to figure out how the hell they got back through the portal that seemed to be closing. We don't have to figure out.
That might have been the smartest move in the movie.
Yada, yada, yada.
It was another sim. Yeah.
And we're back home somehow.
The plane crashed. They couldn't. They had to buy.
Well, they got the kid. Yeah, they got the plane the kid was flying. But like, you still have to open the portal that seemed to be based on time.
Yeah.
Like, cause it was all 39s on the notebook or whatever. So like, anyway, it's fine. They get back. Indy's like recuperating. He's all wrapped up. Whatever. Phoebe Waller-Bridge and the kid come over. So does Sala, because Sala's in the movie too. Briefly.
Oh yeah, Sala's in the movie for like 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. He sure is.
That guy.
That's Gimli, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. John Rhys Davies.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's recuperating, whatever, and it seems like everybody's cool, and then suddenly Karen Allen walks in. Here's Marion. She's back. She's brought groceries, and they reenact the "Where Doesn't It Hurt" scene from Raiders, which is. I think it's something that may be cuter to them, because I can see the two of them enjoying playing that scene together again, but it doesn't really add anything to the movie other than to be like, oh, you guys saw the first Indiana Jones too?
In my opinion, one of the worst things they added to the lore of Indiana Jones from Crystal Skull to this is that she's like the love of his life. Like, I just think it's like misplaced and doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know. It's like, like they didn't bring her up in Temple of Doom or fucking Last Crusade.
I was gonna say she's not even like Last Crusade.
Or Temple of Doom.
And Temple of Doom is a prequel to Raiders.
Right.
But it's also implied that he like hooked up with her when she was 16, so he probably had been with her already, and then he was doing Temple of Doom, and then Raiders happens. But it's weird that she's not mentioned in Last Crusade at all.
It's one of those retcon things where it's just like, do you need that? Do we have to have him have like this like romance? I just don't think it works. Like, I don't care. I don't know. Maybe I'm heartless, but like, it just seems superfluous to the story.
Movies weren't romance movies. It was
they're pulp action movies.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing about Marion and Raiders was she was as badass, if not more than him.
Yeah.
And making and sort of boiling it down into like, well, this is also a traditional romance is like, no, she should be like, it would be more interesting if like he got hung up on her and she just kept ditching him because like, I got to keep doing these drinking contests in fucking Nepal. I'm not interested in settling down and having a mutt.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, that's the movie, man. God, like, you know, I think you said it last week, Nate, that you said this is going to be like right around a 5. And I would agree with you until that ending. That ending just the wheels fell off and it went just so poorly. Alec, jeez. Was your favorite part of this movie the time travel?
No, my favorite part of the movie was how they managed to get a bad performance out of Mads Mikkelsen.
And he's great. And you know what? Great. Like, he's a great actor to be a villain. And like, I was kind of excited when I saw he was the villain in the trailer. But man, he's wasted in this movie.
He's flat. Like, he doesn't do anything other than say.
Yeah, they did not need like a named actor to play that role. They could have just picked any random guy with an accent.
And it's not his fault. It's just like you said, there's nothing for him to do, and he doesn't really do anything. He doesn't feel threatening. He has that weird speech to the bellhop or whatever. He's like, "Where country? Where does your country? What country are you from?" It's like, "Well, you didn't win the war." It's like, "Oh, okay, man, thanks."
Yeah. That is his coolest scene. Is the whole like, "You didn't win the war. Hitler lost it," and it's like. Well, that's a not cool thing to say to a black man who's serving you room service. Like, that was kind of cool. But yeah, he doesn't do anything else after that. It's like, but I don't know, like, nobody really does anything other than Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford's not even given really enough to do because most of the time people are running around or running away from something.
Yeah.
They're not sitting and like talking, and there's not like cool, I don't know, there's not charm.
I mean, like, even in the good Indiana Jones, obviously there's action sequences, but there's like time in the middle. You know what I mean? This movie is so, like, again, it's like Uncharted. It's so worried about its set pieces. Like, the movie is nothing but set pieces, and it just doesn't work. It just does not work at all. And Nate, I know we have a hard out tonight, so let's get into Five Knuckle Shuffles.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's El Topo. Editor El Topo. This is Gog's review of the movie. Here you go.
Coming to you live from Gog's Garage. That's right, special guest Gogs on Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. Despite being absent for the last couple of weeks, I've still watched some of these films. So, here's my thoughts on Quick and the Dead and Indiana Jones and the Disc of Disaster, whatever the fuck it's called. Quick and the Dead, a lot of fun. Like, cool Western, over the top, like, great premise, like, really enjoyable. A lot better than I remember it from when I was younger. Everyone's great in it. Gene Hackman's chewing the scenery. Sharon Stone's, she's like the worst part of it, but she's not bad. She's just like, everyone else is just really like bringing the lumber. Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio. She's doing like a Snake Plissken thing. I don't know if it necessarily works, but the movie's a lot of fun. Solid Western, and probably slept on a little bit compared to some of the other modern Westerns that came out since. So it's an 8 for me, dog. So shout out to Quick and the Dead. Fun movie. Wish you could say the same thing about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's just so boring. Like, who could give a shit? Like, the entire time, I'm like, ugh. Nobody's having fun in it. I'm not having fun watching it. It's all just car chases and just everything. It wants to harken back to the fun Indiana Jones movies, and it's all done with CGI. And Harrison Ford, God love him, is too old. Phoebe Weeble Wobble, or whatever her name is, she's no good. Toby Jones is the best part of the whole movie, and he's barely in it. All the stunts are CGI'd out the wazoo. And it just reminds you of when they did good practical stunts in the original trilogy. Like, you're not getting the train scene from The Last Crusade. You're not getting the tank scene from The Last Crusade. The chase in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The boat scene from Last Crusade. You're getting none of that. Like, any of that good practical stunt work, it just looks so goofy and cheesy, and the end of the movie is just such a fart. Like, it just sucks. And, like, who wants this? Who cares? Who gives a shit? Like, is the torch going to be passed on to Toby Jones's daughter and her plucky, racially ambiguous sidekick? I don't know. Like, it's just dumb. It's so dumb. And who could... But here's the problem. It doesn't make me mad enough to give it a 1 or a 2. It's just so boring and unnecessary. It's a 5. It's a textbook 5. I will forget everything. Mads Mikkelsen deserves better than this. He's a quality actor. Like, just... movie's completely unnecessary. It adds nothing to the conversation. It was a chore to sit through. It's way too long. It's not good. It's not fun. It's not funny. So, there you have it. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up for Quick and the Dead. And who could give a shit for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Hopefully I'll be back recorded live with the rest of the boys in the podcast in the near future. Dogs out.
Alec. All right. So
6. I didn't hate this movie, but it's wholly unmemorable. I didn't think it was terrible. In fact, in some parts, it reminded me of the original Indiana Jones movies. There's some aspects of it where they do a really good job reconnecting. But after Crystal Skull, which was abysmal, and then this isn't abysmal.
Yeah.
It's just kind of meh.
Totally.
Yeah. And, I don't care about the time travel. The last movie had aliens. The one before that, he found the literal fucking holy grail and healed himself. The one before that, people get their hearts pulled out of their chest via voodoo magic. And the one before that, a bunch of Nazis got their faces melted off by literal religious
it's
artifacts.
A fair point.
Time travel, who cares? Yeah, 6. God.
Oh shit! Sean, does anybody have Sean's review?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hang on, I'll find it. Nate, go ahead.
I'm also going to give it a 6 for mostly the same reasons Alec gave. Like, I feel like this is a tribute band of a Indiana Jones movie where it's just like, okay, cool. These guys are all dressed like the Beatles. They're all playing Beatles songs, but this is not giving me a Beatles experience. It's just giving me sort of a nostalgia that I wish was something better than what it is. I agree. Like, the time travel doesn't bother me as much as the fact that the time travel didn't feel earned or make sense where it happened. It was just sort of like, we got in this movie, so boom, they're here, instead of anywhere else that would have been kind of interesting continuity-wise. I also think this movie would have been better if it was just a two-hander between Indiana Jones and Marion the whole time. Like, let's just see them trying to, like, hold it together on let's do one last mission together kind of thing, that they're trying to, like, reconnect after Mutt died and do a thing, instead of trying to introduce new characters that aren't really going to pass the torch anyway. Like, it doesn't sound like they're going to be Indiana Jones movies after Harrison Ford, because he says, like, when I die, this character's gone, so whatever. So it's like, okay, then don't introduce new people. Just give me all the old people and do, like, a weird, like, whatever that the old people spy movie was, or, like, you know,
Red.
Yeah, like, give me a Red kind of thing, or, like, fucking Expendables. Like, just have fun.
Indiana Jones? Indiana Jones? Never heard of him. Here's our new action.
But yeah, it's a 6, because it's like, there are enough parts of it where I'm like, I could watch this again in isolation, and if I just fast forward through some shit, I can almost tolerate it.
There is a new Indiana Jones, and his name is Daniel Jones, because now he plays for the Colts. So he's no longer Danny Dimes. Oh, wow. Now he's Indiana Jones.
That's hilarious. TJ.
Okay. I hated this movie a lot more than you guys did. I'm giving this a 4. It's a 4 for me, dog. I hated it. It felt uninspired. I liked a lot of this. Like, I really liked the intro a lot, but every time I liked something pulled me away from it. I hated the CGI. I hated the kid. I hated the time travel. I didn't like I thought the aliens was a bridge too far in the last one. I thought time travel was a bridge too far for this one. I agree that, like, you had voodoo and you had, like, Christian crap. Somehow that doesn't bother me as much. I don't know. Again, like,
we know DJ's the hardcore.
No, I mean,
the Christian iconography.
No, I mean, I don't know, like, finding religious artifacts and stuff, that doesn't seem like too wacky, where it's like aliens and time travel to me is too wacky. And to Nate's point, if they use the time travel more, or if they justified it, or if they didn't just cram it all at the end, again, like, if they showed fucking Mads Mikkelsen somehow figure out some kind of fissure in time, and that explains how he survived getting fucking walloped with a train post, I would have cared about it more. I didn't feel a connection to any of the characters, like Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, who I don't mind her in general. I actually like Fleabag a lot.
Yeah,
like,
Fleabag is great.
She was fine, but, like, again, her character is just kind of there. You know what I mean? Like, have the time travel thing work and have Toby Jones somehow jump in time to help him or something. Like, I have no connection to any of these characters. I can't stand little kids in movies. It's always annoying and it always feels very tacked on. I don't know. Again, to me, this movie is, like, in 5 territory until we go to fucking, the Battle of Syracuse, and I'm just like, my eyes are rolling into the back of my head. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me with this? And again, like we pointed out, you know, how did they get back to the present? I don't know. Let's say Mo did it. Like,
a wizard did it.
Like, it's so dumb. And I don't know. Again, like, I mean, I know, like, everything nowadays is just, like, nostalgia bait for money, but that's what this felt like. It didn't even feel like there was no veneer of, like, any passion behind this project at all. And it sucks because I love Harrison Ford. I love James Mangold. And it's just like Mick G could have directed this. Like, I feel like James Mangold was wasted. Mads Mikkelsen was wasted. Like, it just felt like a nothing movie to me. And again, though, it's better than Crystal Skull. Crystal Skull is like a 1 or a 2. This is better than that. but just, I don't know, and the writing in this movie is just so rough and just, I don't know, again, like, there's nothing in this movie to sink your teeth into. It's just action scene after action scene after action scene, and the action scenes aren't that interesting. Again, if you don't have a story to tie to your action scene, an action scene means nothing. I think Lucas said that a million years ago during Star Wars. He's right. But yeah, it's not very good. So next week,
like $350 million.
I remember hearing that,
and it didn't make its money back, which is just terrible.
It's insane. So anyway, Gogs, even though he's not here, he had a pick for next week. We're going with Atomic Blonde. The connecting fiber is Toby Jones. A movie I remember liking. I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember thinking it was pretty good. So next week we got Atomic Blonde. Who knows who'll be on the show next week? Every week it's guessing game. I'm gonna say probably not Gogs. I'm gonna guess. I don't know. Gogs hilariously had us move the show from Sunday to Tuesday, only to cancel on Tuesday. Anyway. All right, that's the show, everybody. You know what to do. Eat your own ass. Nate, thanks again for filling in. You're
thanks
the best.
For having me.
You're the best. And, go find Archimedes' dial or whatever.
That's right. Go back to the past. You belong in a museum.
Oh, God. Bye, everybody.
Bye.